Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony for Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Speedball, part of the controller Build-A-Figure. And this is another one of those bodies where it's the exact same body that we've seen like 15 times in the last 2 weeks, with a new head and new paint job. So there's not going to be a ton to talk about. A lot of people keep telling me asking me why do I even bother reviewing Marvel Legends anymore? It's always the same figure with a new head and new paint. I could pre-record most of these videos, and while you're generally right about that, most people wouldn't watch that, and most people do still want reviews. Not everybody knows that every Marvel Legends figure is the exact same thing. They might just like Speedball, for instance. Question of the day, does anybody just like Speedball? And so they're going to look up a review and not care that there's a million other molds, and they're going to want a full review. So that's what I have to do. It's to serve the people who are searching for the videos. Those of you who are hardcore into Marvel Legends, you know most of what I'm going to say because it is mostly the same figure. So it's up to you to decide if you want to watch reviews or not, but I have to do the full thing because that's what I do. So let's go ahead and get this guy off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands roughly to the top of his head about 16 centimeters, including his hair is closer to 17 and a half. That's going to make him about 6 1/4 and 6 3/4 inches. And like I said, it's basically the exact same body again. Not basically, it is. It's the exact same body as Despair and a million other people. And if you like that body, then that's good. If you don't like that body, then that's bad. There are some good things about it. We're going to talk about the aesthetic first, so let's go ahead and do it. But first, let's do a quick question of the day, a real question of the day. The other one wasn't that real. It's going to be an easy question for most of you fans of Speedball. When it comes to Doritos, nacho cheese or Cool Ranch? I'm going to go nacho cheese. All right, doesn't linger as long for days and days and days. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the aesthetic on this guy. Basically a blue plastic figure. Not much going on except the blue for the hips. Hopefully it shows up on camera. It's very different than the blue on the rest of the body. And then the painted blue on the forearms, because it's molded out of yellow, they had to paint the blue on top. Doesn't match, and it's glossy, and it looks bad. It's really rough. Hopefully you can see how rough it looks on camera. I don't know if you can. I will say though that the paint on the yellow parts, this whole thing is painted of course, but these are molded in yellow. This is molded in yellow. The paint on the yellow parts, the little circles, very, very well done. One of the best things I've seen from Hasbro in a long time that they could have easily screwed up. They did a very good job on that. It's not my favorite character design by any means, but they nailed it, so that's awesome. As far as the head goes, they did a pretty good job with the goggles. There's a weird thing going on where if you look like this, you can see that the goggles are completely clear. It's just like a big clear dome with a little bit of black ring. But if you look straight at them, they look super thick and goofy. So that's a little bit strange, but I do like that you can see through the yellow and see the eyes, and they're very well done. So that's an awesome touch. I like the sculpt for the face. It has a little bit of character to it. It doesn't look like he's falling asleep, so that's awesome. By the way, my allergies are pretty bad today, guys, so if I sound a little bit different, that's why. The hair on this guy is the best hair we've seen from Hasbro, maybe ever. I'd like to see if this would fit somehow on a Gambit figure. Why hasn't Gambit had good hair like this? This looks really good. It's painted well, it's sculpted well, it's very, very nicely done. So yeah, there are some good things about this guy. As far as the core body, we'll talk about that briefly because, like I said, not everybody has seen this same body 1,000 times. The individual muscles are sculpted pretty well. We have some nice organic musculature in the legs, and everybody talks about how the thighs are way too big for Spider-Man. They're the same thighs that we have right here. The problem is he doesn't have as big of a crotch gap, so his thighs don't look huge. Spider-Man's look huge because the giant crotch gap. I'm pretty sure they're the same legs. I'm like almost positive, but I'm not 100%, I'm like 99. The chest muscles and everything, they're all there. I don't like the way they taper off this way so much. It gives them a kind of a weird look because of the butterfly joint. And then we do have the very bubbly arms with the tiny shoulders. We need the higher, bigger shoulders and triceps that don't look goofy like this. The way the bicep and tricep makes like a figure 8 with the shoulder looks ridiculous. But a lot of this guy does look pretty good. The head is way too high, the shoulders are way too low, could easily be fixed. I mean, like when they were designing it, it could have easily been fixed, but it's too late now and they're going to keep reusing this mold until the cows come home. So definitely some flaws. We do have mismatched finishes. The legs look nice and matte. The arms are kind of satin and the torso is a little bit less glossy, but still more than satin, so definitely some flaws there. Yeah, it's a good use of this body as far as this body is concerned. but it's not a great figure, definitely not worth $25. So I'll go 6 out of 10. I'll give him a 7. I'll go 7 for the aesthetic, just because of the dots. The yellow and brown dots are very nicely done. Now, as far as accessories go, he's got 0, so 0 out of 10. Reusing body molds, to the extent that they do, and not providing accessories is just, it's laughable to me. It's laughable. Okay, let's talk about the articulation, even though we've seen it 1,000 times before. This guy has the most ridiculous lollipop syndrome I might have ever seen on a male figure, at least. We do have the hinge and the ball peg, and the head does sit way too high, especially because of how low his shoulders are. But goodness gracious, that head sits way too high on the neck as well. So there's just a whole lot of nonsense going on here. That's nuts. The butterfly joint does work pretty well on this body, can't fault that. The shoulders, with some force, can go up better than horizontal to get full rotation, of course. Bicep swivel is okay, double jointed elbow, a little bit gummy, but it's okay. It's not as good as it could be. On the Spider-Man figure I just reviewed, I think they're the same parts. Yeah, that's still not that much better than 90. Like, that's not okay. He should have better range than that. So yeah, that's a skinny arm and not good range, so don't like that. Wrist swivel and hinge. Ab crunch on this guy, still looking pretty pregnant using this mold. Don't know what's going on right there other than pregnancy. Don't like that. Leans forward, okay. Waist twist is a waist twist. Hips go forward, but do kick out to the side, do the shape of the crotch, so a straight kick isn't going to be possible. Going backward, just a little bit of range, so that's okay. Going out to the side, better than the Spider-Man that has the new crotch to give him better range. That is funny to me. That is so funny. That's nuts. Thigh swivel is okay. Double jointed knee is okay. You do get a boot swivel if you like that. And then the ankles go all the way back. And yeah, far enough forward. That's okay by me. And you get a solid ankle rocker. So yeah, it's not a bad badge for articulation. It does work mostly pretty well. Elbow's not great. Head doesn't sit properly on that articulation, and the torso makes him look pregnant, but it does pose pretty well. So I will go ahead and give the articulation on this guy. It's nothing incredible, but it's not bad. I'm going to go 7. I would have gone 8. I was going to go 8, but then I realized the elbows can't bend much better than 90 degrees for no real reason. So let's do a final verdict on this release. It's the same body again. It's one of the better uses we've seen of this body recently. They did a really good job with the paint. The key features of this guy, like the hair, the face, the paint job on the gloves and boots and belts and stuff, they did nail the character-specific stuff. I'm going to be generous on this one and give him an overall rating of 8. The paint job really sells it. The hair sculpt, the goggles, they did a good job with what they really needed to, and they phoned in the rest, of course, because there's zero paint or shading or anything on the rest of this body with poorly matched paint jobs. Not down here, up here. And then right here. So yeah, there's definitely flaws, but if they're going to reuse this body, this is one of the better options you have for it. So there it is, guys. Let me know how you feel about it in the comment section below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about things, because I'll pin one of the comments and then we can talk. But otherwise, you should probably just subscribe. I have new videos every day but Wednesday, and I do have over 4,000 videos on the channel for that Wednesday. That's a lot of Wednesdays that'll be made up for. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.